Happy Thursday, beautiful people. All right, so tonight we are going to have our own team call, not together with another team because I messed up. But I wanted to have a team call on organization and tracking in your business. I know this is something that a lot of people struggle with, and believe it or not, this is something that I'm actually good at, even though I messed up the time zone for tonight. So we are going to rip through this call quickly. This is good, actually, that we're not doing it with other teams. I don't have to introduce myself or introduce my story or anything. I can just kind of go through what you guys already know. You guys already know that I'm an organizational freak. You know that I love my trackers. The organization part of the business isn't an issue for me. It's actually the procrastination and the perfectionism that's an issue for me. You know, like I get so caught up in my own stuff with like trying to do projects, and then I start too many, and then I get analysis paralysis. Sandy and I just talked about this, and I just freeze, and yeah, and then that happens, and then I don't invite for like a week. So sweet, really productive. So what I'm going to do tonight is I'm just going to share with you guys how I organize my business, what I actually track, so that we can all just get over the procrastination and perfectionism, because I know that I'm not alone in this. And so we can get shit done and crush it out for this last, we got one more week of March, one more week or 2 more weeks. Crazy. That's the end of quarter one, and we're moving on to quarter two of the year, which in my opinion is going to be the best quarter of the year so far. Just saying. So the first thing I want to recommend is, if you haven't already read the book Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy, I really highly recommend that one, as well as, Jenny knows, as well as Be a Sales Superstar by Brian Tracy. Those are both excellent books. I'll be honest with you, Be a Sales Superstar looks like a really corny sales book, but it's so gold. Like, it's got so many nuggets in there. I remember reading that book being like, how is this book that looks like it should be scammy and gross so good? So both of those books are really excellent. In Eat That Frog, Brian says, one of the very worst uses of time is to do something very well that need not be done at all. And I know I'm guilty of this. I know that I'm not just speaking for myself, right? It's so easy to get caught up in things that you know aren't necessary, but you somehow justify them as necessary in that moment. Like making graphics on PicMonkey, or like studying other top coaches for 2 hours on Instagram. Like those are the things that you think they're important, and then somehow inviting gets put on the back burner for like 4 days straight. When inviting is literally the only business activity that we have that moves our business forward. So if we're not inviting people to anything, we don't have a business. It's super, super important. So something to think about. Mark Twain has another quote I wanted to share with you guys tonight, and it's, eat a live frog first thing in the morning and nothing worse will happen to you the rest of the day. Nasty, first of all, and second of all, true. So getting your vitals done as early as humanly possible is so, so key to staying on track with your goals. And when you actually implement daily work hours, I find this for myself. When I was teaching, and I'd have to be at school to teach, I would have to mark the exams, I'd have to go coach volleyball practice, and then I'd be working in the evening. I only had a small little target of time that I could work in, and when I got my stuff done first thing in the day, it was like, check, see ya, that's it. If I do anything else, it's just bonus. So really important to set yourself work hours that you're going to work from. Kaylee and I just talked about this. When you have a lot of time, because I'm working from home right now, it's really easy to fall into the trap of, I have all day, I'll just take all day. And as much time as you give yourself, that's as much time as you're going to take. So give yourself a structured set a timer. Really, really helpful. There's apps you can use. There's an app called 30/30, and it's a productivity app, and you can actually input the tasks you want and how long you want to do them for, and it'll just like count down each task for you. So that's really helpful if you struggle with that. So I wanted to give you guys, I think I have 5 steps in getting organized, and I'm just going to run through them. Some of it is stuff know from before. Some of it might be new. Whatever you get from this call, like, don't just change everything you're doing if it's already working. Implement the things that I am suggesting. If they're going to work for you, try them out, great. But don't think, holy shit, I'm doing everything wrong, I need to stop what I'm doing and do all of this differently. If it's working for you, if you're hitting successful, if you're having conversations, if you're already running a group every month and you're feeling good about it, keep doing what you're doing and just add in maybe a couple of these techniques, okay? So step number 1 in getting organized with your business, you've got to know, first of all, why you're showing up for your business. And I put this in with organization because If you do not know why you're showing up, it does not matter how many freaking organizational tips and tricks and tools and strategies and protocols you have. It won't matter. You've got to know why you're showing up first and foremost, right? You got to have that fire under your butt every single morning. Why am I showing up to grow, right? Why am I showing up to help other people? Why am I showing up for me? Okay, you got to know what that's about, and you got to be willing to show up when you don't feel like it, especially. Step number 2 is getting organized, is to lay out your month. So if you guys want to right now, if you have your planners, let's just do this really quickly, and we can lay out your month for April. And it'll just be a real quick one right now, but you can go back after and add in the details. But one of the things I do when I'm going to lay out my month is I look at all the weeks, okay? And I ask myself these questions. I ask, okay, when is my challenge group being hosted? So I'm looking at my calendar right now. For me, I'm hosting a challenge group April 9th. I know I'm going to Mexico the following week, so I've already planned it so that one of my coaches who's helping me run the group, she's going to be posting during the week that I'm gone. Okay, so those are the kinds of things that you want to do in advance so that you're not in mid-April going, oh crap, I forgot about this weekend getaway. I have to post in my challenge group. I'm not prepared for it. Now I'm stressed out and I'm not enjoying this. It's really easy to overwhelm yourself with coaching. So if you can prep and plan in advance, that's so key. And that brings so much more joy to the system, is when you have a system. Okay. So when's your challenge group this month? Write down a tentative date for yourself. Okay. What day then do you have to send out invitations by? Usually I try to send out invitations at least 2 weeks before my group starts so that I give people time to get their stuff shipped, right? It's not a huge deal if the Shakeology and Portion Fix comes in like a couple days late, but I really like to have people have their packs before we start, because I know that mentally when you're starting, you have all your stuff, they're more likely to have success. Okay, so when's the challenge group? What day do they need to order by? What day do you need to send out invitations by? Are you hosting a sneak peek? Are you doing like a 2-day Instagram sneak peek thing? I've been finding that really beneficial. We have that new Wi-Fi in a Dream group for our whole team. You guys use that. I'm leaving that group up as a constant sneak peek for us to use. Okay. All right. Are you going on vacation at all? Like I said, I'm going to Mexico, so I wrote that down. I'm going to be gone that week, so I want to make sure I hit Success Club before I go. I want to make sure that all my stuff's taken care of. When our team calls, that kind of thing. So basically, it's just so important to lay out the month, because you don't want there to be a bunch of surprises, right, that throw you off. I always find that if I know when my challenge group is, I know when I'm going to do some kind of a sneak peek, and I know when I should be inviting people to it, the months flow much better. I usually try to have my challenge group the first Monday of every month. Yeah, but whatever you want to do, you can host it at the end of the month too. Doesn't really matter. All right, step number 3. So step number 2 is lay out your month. Step number 3 is going to be lay out your week. I know I'm going quick through this, but I want to make sure you guys, we get to go to that other call as well after this. Okay, this one is mucho importante. Okay, take out your day planner or whatever you're using, paper, blank calendar. I want you to look at your upcoming week this week. Okay, and then I want you to write in all of your responsibilities that you have during the week. So this is like whatever your work schedule is. If you have a commute that's like half an hour or longer, like write that in. Kids' sports or getting groceries. What days are you like meal prepping? What days do you have an errand? Do you have an appointment out of the house? Write down all those things for next week. Okay. Once you have all those things written down for next week, you're going to write in when you're doing your workouts. You're not going to miss your workouts because they're appointments that you're setting with yourself. Okay, and then next you're going to write in when you're going to read PD, because your PD is an appointment with your mind and you need it. So do I. Okay, and if you don't have time to read PD in the morning, at the very least, listen to a podcast or an audiobook on your way to work. Okay, or on your way to dropping the kids off at school. Spend time with them in the car while you're driving them, drop them off, put on an audiobook or a podcast. Okay, make it work for you, whatever your schedule is. Okay, and then finally, you're going to write in when you're going to do a power hour. And it might be a power 15 3 times during the day. It might be a power 2 half hours. It might be a 45-minute block in the morning and then an hour chunk in the evening. Whatever that looks like for you, write it in. When I first started coaching, my power hour was 30 minutes in the morning from about 6:30 till 7:06. I tried to push the ticket a little bit before I worked out, but I knew I had to work out by 7:10, otherwise I couldn't be ready by 8, yada yada. Now I have changed, obviously, because I'm working Beachbody full time, so it's a little bit different. Okay, so just figure out whatever's right for your schedule, write in when you're going to be working your power hour. This is super important. Okay, because it's really easy to be like, I'll do it later, and then you get home and you're so spent and you don't want to do it later. Okay, so try to get it done as early as possible during the day, right? This is one of the most important steps to getting organized, you guys, because when we actually set a plan that we can take action on instead of just theorizing about getting organized, this is saying, okay, this is my week, this is my month, these are the things that I'm doing, these are the things that are priorities to me that I'm responsible for, and then you're going to set about doing them. And you'll find a way to do it, right, when you have it written down. So step 4 is about keeping a daily journal. So I don't know if everybody here keeps a daily journal to write your notes in, but I keep 2. So I have this one is just general everyday stuff. So like, for example, today I had an appointment from 10:30 till 1. Sweet. I had a coffee with a potential coach at 3. Sweet. I have a team call. I was going to make notes. I had wanted to make banana bread. Like all these different things I wrote down on this list. And this is like, if I'm meditating, I keep this beside me and I write down my squirrely thoughts in this journal, because once they're out of here and they're in here, I know I don't have to worry anymore because they're in the book, right? I also keep a daily journal for coaching. And I'm actually going to show you guys what it looks like. Where is my share screen? Oh, I think I have to pull it up first, don't I? Okay, can you guys see this? Yeah? So I just made a really quick picture. This is an example of what my worksheet looks like in my notebook for my Beachbody coach work. So every single day I write the date. Every single day I write what success club I'm at. Every single day I write my left volume and my right volume. Okay, this just helps me track. So I know, like, if it's Wednesday and my volume is high, I can check that. If it's low, I can check it. My success club numbers, I like to know where I'm at during the month, where I'm at through the month. Especially if I know I'm supposed to be at like 6 or 8 or something and it still says 2 or 4, I can know to check that. And then what I do is I have 5 boxes. Okay, try not to have more than 5, otherwise you get overwhelmed really easily. Okay, and then I number the boxes based on priority. So for me personally, this power hour messages, those are like thank you notes. Those are hey girl messages, right? Those are messaging your story watchers. Those are messaging people who liked your post yesterday. Those are all the messages you want to send out that are considered connections and invitations, right? I posted those at invitation example yesterday. A girl messaged me about my Instagram story. I had like an egg and rice bowl for breakfast, and she said, "Ooh, yummy!" And then I made an invitation out of it. I just had a conversation with her, which led to me inviting her to work together, and then she joined. Okay, so I would consider that an invitation or connection. So I set my phone, like set your phone timer for whatever, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever you have. And those are like the most important thing you can do with your business, right? Because even if you're just posting once a day on social media, even if you're only checking into your challenge group once, at the very least, after doing your workout and PD and drinking Shaco, right? Sending out some messages and just like connecting with people every single day, that compounds over time. So that's really great. Okay, so I send out those messages, and then I have number 2 priority. So once I'm finished that and check, number 2 is send out my April follow-ups. Great, so I have a list in my binder that has my April follow-up people, all the people who said April would be a better time for them. So I'll send out the April follow-ups, and that's easy because that's a quick copy paste, right? That's my, hey, and I'll put their first name. I just wanted to reach out because I'm just opening registration. I wanted you to be first to know, are you interested in joining our group April 9th? Okay, super, super simple. Once that's done, I will do the next thing. So for example, send my challengers a voice note really quick. Okay, and if I don't get to that one, guess what? I can move it to the next day. But at the very least, I know that I got done these power hour messages, which are my most important task, right? Welcome Britt to coach page and live chat with Beachbody about Kim's order. Those are extra things that I would just add to this list in my notebook just so I remember to do them. So I can always transfer those things over. Nobody's going to die if I don't add Brit to the coach page in the morning, if I forget to do it till like after supper and then I quickly do it, right? But during my scheduled work time, as long as I'm getting those tasks done, that's the key part for me. So I'm just going to show you guys really quick because like I had a whole call scheduled, but you don't need to see that. I'm going to show you guys what I'm going to show you the trackers that I made so that you can see them. Can you guys see that okay? Okay, so I made 2 and I'm going to add them to the team page. Of course, there are other trackers in the team page that you're welcome to use. There's like a simple one, there's a bunch. So what I did is I made an Instagram one and a Facebook one. So if you run your business predominantly on Instagram, this might be a tracker you want to consider. If you run your business predominantly on Facebook, this might be a tracker you want to consider. So I'll just go through it really quickly so you can see. On both trackers, I have personal development, workout, and Shakeology. Okay, that's part of the vitals. Those are the fun vitals because that's what you're doing for yourself, right? On Instagram, I've got post 2 times and add hashtags. Easy, right? Share your day on your Insta stories. Check. Follow 10 new people, and you can use hashtags to find your tribe. So for example, if Erin is into meditation, she can do hashtag meditation pillow or something and look at the people who are using that hashtag, who are following that hashtag, and she can find 10 new people to follow who might connect with her, right? I might connect with somebody with celiac disease. Kaylee might connect with somebody else. Like, you want to use hashtags to find your tribe, and especially now that you can follow hashtags on Instagram, super, super key that you find ones that bring you people that are just like you, okay? And then you can use those to find 10 new people to follow, sorry. Then you're going to engage with, I'm just put 10 as an easy number. You can do as many or as few as you want, okay? Engage with 10 of your followers. Instagram loves when you engage with people. So this is like commenting and liking on your followers' posts. So if you just go to your followers and just go to 10 people's profiles and like and comment on a couple of their posts, that's really good for your own engagement, okay? And guess what? You get to make somebody feel good about their picture, okay? Send 10 thank you messages. So just go back to your story from yesterday. Go back to your post from yesterday, see who liked it, and send out 10 thank you messages. Hey, thank you so much for liking my picture from yesterday. I know it just takes a second to click the button. Really appreciate it. Are you also on a health and fitness journey? Start the conversation, right? Super easy. And then I have answer other messages. So messages on Instagram, Facebook, or email, and check in with your groups. I left a space for priorities for the week. Like, so top 3 priorities might be sneak peek on the 12th. I don't even know, team call at 8 o'clock on Thursday, Mountain Standard Time, right? Or something. And then finally, I left a little space at the bottom for people to stay in contact with / follow up with, because I find that it's really easy to lose names. So if you have this sheet for the week, you can just write down people's names. I'll share a little tip that I use, you guys, for Instagram, because I was using 2 different lists for people who are on Facebook and Instagram, and I'm still doing my business on both. I was finding it really confusing having 2 different lists of people to work from, and I was getting overwhelmed, to be honest. So what I did instead is I just collabed the lists, and I know now when I write, if I write at and their name, it's an Instagram person, and if I write first name, last name, it's a Facebook person. So that's my way of deciphering between the 2. Okay? Facebook, if you guys have any questions, so you can just put them in the chat, and I'll just answer them right after. The Facebook one is a little bit different. So I've got PD, Workout Shakeology, same thing, right? Post 2 times, post something, what would you like to see? You can post the same stuff on Facebook as you do on Instagram. However, I will say, Facebook now has this algorithm that's really favoring family and friends and connection. So, and Instagram is too, but Instagram, you can be a little bit more business forward with your posts, right? So on Facebook, you might want to consider tailoring your post to be a little bit more, what would you like to see from friends and family, and kind of like tailor the language just slightly. Totally up to you, okay? I still am posting the same things on Facebook and Instagram, except for sometimes I'll do like funny quotes or like messier things on Facebook, and then Instagram is a little bit more curated, okay? go live on Facebook once a week. This boosts the crap out of your audience, you guys, people that get to see your posts, because as you know, not everybody in your Facebook newsfeed is going to see your post anyways. So really getting out of your comfort zone and going live on Facebook is a huge, huge thing. And I mean, man, I sucked at live video when I first started. Now I just go and do it, and it's really fun if you have a topic that you want to talk about. Okay. Add 5 new friends a day. I use the suggested friends to find my tribe. I just really quickly hover over mutual friends, and if I see that they have like Sandy, Ginny, Kaylee as a friend, I will look at their profile. If they look like they would actually be a friend, I'll add them as a friend and unfollow them so that they don't show up in my newsfeed, right? And if I see that they're just friends with a bunch of coaches and I don't know them and I don't think I would jive with them, I just don't add them as a friend. Okay, so just make sure you're looking for people who you could connect with. That's the point of this whole thing. It's a people business, right? You want to connect. Send 10 or engage with 10 of your friends. So this can be through message. This can be you commenting and liking on their posts. I have commented and liked on somebody's post, and then I'll shoot them a message and be like, hey, I just wanted to say, I really appreciate you sharing that article. It was really insightful. Thanks so much. How have you been? Right? And just starting a conversation based on things that they're sharing. Send 10 thank you messages. So people who liked your recent posts, that's the same thing as the Instagram one. And then same thing, answer the messages, check in with your groups, priorities, and here's a list of people to stay in contact with. I also added this because I think it's freaking hilarious, and this is me. Because I'm telling you guys all these organizational techniques. Guess what? Guess who just revamped her entire organizational technique system this week? This guy. Okay, I am totally human too, and sometimes I overwhelm myself with too many tabs open in my brain and too many, I want to do this, this, and this. And I'm Arthur with headphones on my freaking head instead of my ears. Okay. I want to be mindful. Oh, Jenny, you started to eat that far today. That's awesome. So do you go and check off trackers for both IG and Facebook when you're working both? So I actually technically just made those trackers because I wanted to be mindful of people who are trying to just do Facebook or trying to just do Instagram. Personally, for me right now, I have one that combines them kind of, but I'm trying to do more so Instagram and just like post the same things to Facebook. I'm also trying to get people onto email versus Facebook Messenger. That's kind of a hard one because I've been doing it for 3 years on Facebook Messenger, but I'm trying to just like switch it a little bit. So you have to just get a feel for what's comfortable for you personally and what you like using. Okay, let's see what else.
So if I can just have a minute, I wanted to love this, love the trackers. Awesome. Yeah. One of these days I'll actually implement it. Good goals, right? But one of the things I also loved is the fact of the full-time versus part-time coaching. So when I first started, I was really worked up about oh, what if I didn't hit that 10 number, or I would get overwhelmed because you would talk about and sending out 25 invites a week. And I was like, oh my God, I'm not doing enough. I'm not, promoting enough. But I love that 10 and 5 rule, right? So if Success Club 10 is your non-negotiable, then you need to be doing 10 invites and 25 invites and whatever. But if Success Club 5 and part-time business is more of your goal orientated, then make sure that if you just do 3 instead of 10 or 5 instead of 10, that's perfectly fine if you're part-time coaching versus full-time coaching, and to not get overwhelmed by the aspect that you're not hitting those numbers, that you as a full-time coach are looking to hit, those numbers. So I know for me a year ago, I was really overwhelmed by that. And then again, analysis paralysis, and I just didn't do it. And so pulling it back and changing those numbers to what you can do. It's the same with the power hour. If you can't do a power hour 5 days a week and you can only do it Monday, Wednesday, Friday or something like that, then set that in your schedule, and that's perfectly fine. And know as a part-time coach that's okay.
Yes. Love it. Thank you. Thank you for clarifying that. And also, you guys, I should say too, if you are of the mindset that you don't want to invite every day and you don't want to send new invitations and new conversations and stuff every day, switch it around. So do the majority of your new conversations on Monday and Tuesday. And then you've got Wednesday, Thursday, Friday to answer messages and just kind of chill, so you can always switch it around. And also, I'm going to be honest with you, even if you just have 2 new conversations a day, that's good enough. That's going to compound over time anyways. Right? So I just put 10 because let's be honest, if you want to see the volume and you want to grow an actual business, you're going to want to talk to more people. That's just the truth of the matter, right? I get a lot of people who don't respond to me. And so if you message more people, you're more likely to have people who are responding all the time and wanting to work with you. It's just a numbers game. But yes, I'm so pumped that you said that, Sandy. Okay, last couple of bits and then I'll let you guys go. At the start of the month, I really highly suggest making lists to work from. And I have something really exciting actually that I'll just announce right now. I haven't announced it yet. I'm going to be switching up how we're doing, yes, I'm going to be switching up how we're doing team calls. I'm going to be switching it so that we're going to do one team call a month. And I'm doing this for a reason. The first Monday of every month, I'm going to try it out. Hopefully it works. The first Monday of every month is going to be an 8 p.m. or something like that hangout sesh for us all to make our list for the month of people to connect with. The second Monday of every month, I'm going to open up an 8 p.m. Zoom slot for us to have a glass of wine, have a tea, whatever, and that's going to be a time for us to send out invitations to challenge groups together on Zoom, hanging out. I'll play some music, bring your wine, bring your tea, bring your kombucha, whatever you want, and let's hang out. So the first Monday is make a list. Second Monday is send out invites. Third Tuesday of the month, that'll be our one team call for the month, and I'm going to make sure that I have an epic guest or somebody bringing awesome value for our one team call for the month. So I'm really excited because making lists at the start of the month of your people makes it so much easier on you for you to be able to just go to the list and be like, hey, I want to just contact 3 people for my list today. Check, done. Guess how much time that just saved you instead of being like going to Instagram, who should I talk to today? Who should I find? Oh my God, I just scrolled for 15 minutes that I was supposed to be working. I suck, right? So really, really important. So at the beginning of the month, I suggest making a new list. So make a list of your new friends and followers from this past month. You can go and find that on Facebook. You can go through your Instagram followers. I'm going to do that this month as well. You can make a list of people to thank. Instagram, you guys, on the Instagram highlight, archive of your stories. Your stories stay in that archive forever now, I think, which is amazing because guess what? You can now look back at every single one of those stories and you can click on who saw every single one of those stories. So if you have a story with a poll on it and you forgot to get the names, you can scroll back through your archive, click on the story that you had a poll asking about, like a January group or something, find who looked at that story, write those people's names down. I just like take a screenshot so I don't lose it and then message them and be like, hey, we didn't connect in January. I saw you clicked, you wanted to join my group. Are you still interested? I promise those people will be so thankful that you reached out to them. So that's a really cool feature that Instagram came out with that you can use to your advantage. Okay. This month's follow-ups, I have a tracker page for each month. So for example, I've got April, May, June, July. I'll show it to you guys if you're visual. Okay. I keep it in this binder. Okay, and I literally have one piece of loose leaf for every single month. And I will write down the person's name, the date that we chatted, and why they couldn't join. So for example, Samantha, October 2nd, was due October 17th, wants in November. Okay, so like I would just write down a little note so that I knew when I could message Samantha or whoever it was, that I knew why she didn't join last time and I could have that conversation and help her feel like I listened. Okay. So I track follow-ups. I track conversations that I've had with people. I just write people's names down. I track, I have like a dream coach page, women that I find that I'm like, dang, she would be sweet on Boomerang. I really want her to coach. Okay. So it's not so much about how well you do all of this. It's not so much about how many different trackers you can use and how whatever. It's just finding a system that works for you. So for me personally, using a little checklist, Sandy, is it backwards? This is the one that I'm currently using. Okay, can you guys see? So it's just like the Instagram and the Facebook one, but it's all together. So I just have one spot for adding people, one spot for connecting, and then I've got answer messages, love on your groups, and an afternoon gratitude. Okay, so I can also add this one too if you guys are interested in this tracker. I always play around with different ones because sometimes I like to change it up. You know, it's like getting excited and just like making a whole new system of something instead of actually doing the work. I think that's what it is. I get excited. Anyways, I want, we can end this. Should I put this one up? Is this a good enough recording to put up? You guys, is it helpful? Okay, good. I'm sorry that I ripped through that so quickly, but I hope it was helpful. If you guys have questions about organization and trackers and stuff, feel free to ask. You know that our team page is an open, awesome, wonderful group. Everybody go to the chat right now and click that Zoom link for the call with Autumn's sister and I will see you guys on that call. Sound good? I'm not going to end it until everybody leaves. You guys all got it? Yes? Okay. Everybody got it? No? So go to the chat. Yeah, okay. As people are leaving, I'm just... All right. Sam, Aaron, Lauren, can you find the link in the chat there? All right. Sounds great, ladies. Hope you have an awesome night. I'll see you on the other call.